Bosh! Evening people, welcome back to the channel. Tonight, a little bit of catching up to do. Couldn't get into the Friday lobby for the GTTCC. Turns out, me and Fabuki weren't friends. So, I don't know why. I'm sure I've added him as a friend. I'm sure I've been in lobbies where he's been the host and I'm about to add him to join the lobby. For some strange reason, we're not friends. So yeah, that'll be the reason why we didn't stream Friday. Idiocy. How about that? Right, so 2 races to catch up on tonight. We've got Nurburgring GP. No qualifying for you lot tonight because it's post-race, so it doesn't record the qualifying. So I've got to figure out how these controls work now because it's all post-race and it's all a little bit different. What I do want to do is just go and have a quick look at who's where. In fact, let me just do that again. And have a look at some lobbies, some liveries as well. So let's just run through the order. We've got P1 Dylan on pole. Is it going to give me a decent picture for him? A decent image? Yeah, that'll do. P1 Dylan on pole then. White Shark Jim second. Fat Pickles Bro in third. Fabuki in fourth. Mocking Weeks fifth. P1 Don sixth. Robus in seventh. Ben Cosgrove eighth. Rick 33 in ninth. And JPH 99 in 10th. So, I've got a little bit of a challenge this week. It's warming up for next week. Because I couldn't get into this lobby, I had to send a couple of messages out during this sort of qualifying and races. And for the drivers, if they do that, they get punished, right? They get, you know, a grid place penalty or something like that, or time penalty or whatever it is. They get told off anyway, and they're trying to lay that sort of crap on me, which I'm kind of not having because, you know, I'm trying to get into the lobby, I'm trying to help you lot out, and they're telling me I've got to have a 10-second penalty next week, which at first I accepted because, you know, I shouldn't be sending messages. But then I decided, screw that. He didn't have to pick up the phone. He didn't have to answer me. I didn't hold a gun to his head. Right? So I took back everything I said and I wasn't having that penalty. And then they decided that it was too lenient anyway. And now next week, not these 2 races you're going to watch now, but next week I'm not allowed to say P1. So I've got 2 drivers in here that are P1 drivers. We've got Dylan and Don. I'm not allowed to say Shark. So that's going to be interesting. This is all next week. CJ, how you doing, mate? There's a bit of an echo. Yeah, I don't know what it is. It seems to be with this mic. Give me a second. I'm not allowed to say Shark. Right. Tell me how that is. So that's going to be interesting. This is all next. For some reason. CJ, how you doing, mate? There's a bit of an echo. Yeah. It works fine sometimes, and then other times it doesn't, and I have to rag it out midstream and shove it back in. Let's just get the old monitor on and see what I sound like. Right. Hello? Tell me how that's the wrong one. What about what? Why have I got no sound? Why have I got no sound? Why can't I hear myself? Hello? Oh my God, what is going on? No, yeah, no. Yeah, no. For some reason, I'm not getting my monitor now. I can't hear myself. Strange. God, what is going on? I don't know, CJ. I don't know. Down for the count. Evening, mate. The audio in the background is playing. For some reason, I'm not getting my monitor now. Me about 30 seconds behind. How bizarre. Okay. I don't know why, mate. I don't know what's going on. But let's get ourselves into this lobby. So yes, my challenge for next week, not this week, is I'm not allowed to say P1. I'm not allowed to say Shark. And I'm not allowed to say, he's not in the room this week. He wasn't racing this week. I'm not allowed to say Potter, who's would be the starter Potter McPot into this lobby. So yes, my challenge for next week. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, CJ. I don't know. But while we're here, I just want to have a quick look at liveries. I said I was going to run through the order first. Let's get on with this because you're starting to waffle a little bit now. So P1 Don on pole. Oh, we have been through the grid. P1 Don on pole. White Shark Jim second. Fat Pickles Bro in third. Fabuki fourth. I was looking at different car liveries, wasn't I, from the back. Fabuki in fourth. Mocking Weeks in fifth. P1 Don sixth. Robus in seventh. Ben in eighth. Rick in ninth, and JPH 10th. And like I say, I just wanted to have a quick gander at some of these liveries. Let's have a little look about at these then, shall we? Boyd Transport, HKS Racing, JPS, 33, got the PlayStation livery. So it's a one race make for the first race, and then free choice for race 2. So everybody in the Aston Martin for race 1. HKS Racing, JPS. Let's get a good look at some of these liveries. You do see them as they go round, but not quite as up close and personal. Look at that. That's a good shot, isn't it? Look. Let's just come down on that one. You like that one, CJ? How about that? You do see them as they go round, but not. And Ben driving the DCC car. Is that Ben's? No, it's not Ben's. So the digital car culture boys in the house, rocking the liveries. So that's our mate. Can't shake the cliche if you know or heard of him. Done a couple of races with him myself. George, evening mate. How you doing? Right. Can't shake the cliche if you know or heard of him. Done a couple of races with him myself. Smoker done something. You're mental. Smoker doesn't get punished. Not unless he wants to get punished. Evening mate. How you doing? Right, let us find a decent view. Let's start from JPH, but let's get ourselves outside the car and see if we can catch any chaos into turn 1. So you've seen the grid order. We've got a half-hour race coming up for you lot. We are at Nurburgring GP as well, so quite a bit of a favourite for a lot of the guys. Right, they're away. I think that was Fat Pickles Bro that's got our logos on me. So they all try and slot over to gain the slipstream. It's going to be slightly different this week. I won't have times to be able to pick up between the drivers. Does everyone get through turn 1 cleanly? Ooh, pushed out wide a little bit by Fat Pickles Bro. JPH trying to lose the rear end through there as they head into this Mercedes arena. Just feathering that throttle for JPH. Not trying to spin those rear wheels out. So just coming out of the Mercedes arena. Why have I not got drivers' names above the car? That's annoying. So Dylan out front. Looks like he's got about 3/4 of a second over White Shark Jim, driver for DCC. Fabuki got himself up into 3rd off the line. Fat Pickles Bro 4th. Mocking in 5th. Ben Cosgrove 6th. P1 Don 7th. Robertson 8th, Rick 33 in 9th, and JPH back in the pack in 10th. So yeah, a couple of drivers missing this week. Hopefully to return for the finals next week. So through the S's, up the hill. Let's get ourselves on board with a Dylan. To the 90 left, 90 right. Starting to pull a gap now from White Shark. I would say that's a good couple of seconds. Let's have a look. Maybe 1.5 second lead he's got over White Shark. Buki in 3rd then. Everyone trying to get in the slipstream as they head up towards this chicane. Is anyone going to go for a move? No one goes for a move into the chicane. Everybody through there cleanly as well. Nobody spinning it out, getting it backwards. F1 on your keyboard. There you go. Good job, somebody there. You're lying. You're lying. It's not giving me keyboard options in post-race, unfortunately. Fabuki having to take slightly different line through there to stop himself smashing into the back of White Shark. You can just see Dylan slowly but surely creeping off down the road. So Fat Pickles Bro in 4th, Mocking Weeks 5th, Ben Cosgrove 6th, being hotly contested for that position by Don. I am hearing that a few of these drivers would rather not watch this replay, but we'll see what happens. So P1 Don piling the pressure on Ben, then looking for a way past. Is he going to make a move down to the hairpin? I could use the live timing screen for gaps. Yes, Chris. Yes, Chris. Bosh! I don't know where I'm looking though. Oh, 1.63 the gap. Okay. So Dylan up front. Yeah, I was about right. 1.5, 1.6 seconds over the second place man currently. Fabuki's got his wipers on. He's expecting rain. Or White Shark's got his washers on just to put him off. Still quite tightly packed in the middle bunch. Two little groups developing. Mocking Weeks at the back of this pack. We've got Don, who has managed to make his way through up into 6th then. He's got himself past Ben and Robus. So Ben all the way down in 8th now. Rick 33 still bolted onto the back end of this pack with James. Oh, down the inside. Into the chicane. That's the place you were going to see the move done, but Rick 33 just able to carry the speed on the way out. So JPH still 10th. Oh, a little bit slidey out of there as well. Keeping himself in touch though. E1 Dylan extending that lead. Racing softs on board. White Shark on the softs as well. Fabuki holding that 3rd. Pat Pickles still 4th. Mocking Week still 5th. Can Don close the gap up on Mocking Weeks? What would we say that is? About a second, maybe just over a second. Massively wide through there for P1 Don. A little bit of off-roading to get himself back on track. That's going to slow him down. Drifting these Astons through that turn then. Looks like all drivers are doing that. I'm just seeing the gap that Dylan's got. It's ridiculous. So Robertson's actually putting in a bit of time over Ben Cosgrove in 8th. Still got Rick 33 hounding him, and JPH there for company. Let's see how far Dylan is up the road. There's the gap. God, that must be about 3 seconds. Dylan absolutely running away with this one at the minute. Fastest lap so far, 2:02.9. White Shark's quickest, 2:03.2. Fabuki on a 2:03.7. This is only early stages, only on lap 3. Fat Pickles though, pretty close to Fabuki. Not gonna chuck one up the inside there. Everyone getting a great big handful of curb through there. 2 wheels off the ground. Mocking Weeks still bolted onto the back end of Fat Pickles, driving for Team Samsung. Nice and tight through the final turn. Just flip back to Mocking Weeks, looking back at P1 Don. Still quite a big gap there. I'd say there's about another 3 seconds between these 2 packs as well. Drivers really splitting up now. Who's this? Ben Cosgrove has managed to make a bit of a break from JPH and Rick 33. There they are, just turning up at the first turn. Just watch Ben Cosgrove already into the Mercedes arena, heading on his way out. So big gap developed there between these last couple of drivers. JPH actually getting himself past Rick 33 as well. No damage on either car by the look of it. Lost a lot of time to Ben Cosgrove up front. Can't even see him now as they come out the Mercedes arena. Dylan then having a stormer at the minute through the hairpin. That's the gap he's got. Let's just go back to that. It's all kicking off between Fat Pickles, Fabuki and Mocking Weeks. Pickles has got himself back up into 3rd, taking that place back off Fabuki. Mocking Weeks is looking for a move at some point. Is he going to sling one at the inside here? He's in the right place to be doing it. Oh, not quite. Not quite. Fubuki just outbrakes him into there. But it does still put Mocking Weeks in a good place. He's got to stay bolted to the back end of Fubuki if he's going to make a move down towards this chicane. Through the little kink then, we're on board with Fat Pickles looking back at Fubuki Mocking Weeks fight. Mocking Weeks down the inside of the chicane, backs out again. Maybe unable. Nice tight line through there for Fat Pickles. Keeps himself in front of Fubuki. Fubuki in front of Mocking. They've got to do it all again. There's the gap. Dylan just disappearing around turn 1. White Shark in second. There's got to be 3.5, possibly 4 second gap between these two. About another second back to Fat Pickles in third. Similar back to Fubuki. Oh, Mocking Weeks. I was going to say it's about half a second, but all of a sudden it wasn't. It was about 0.1. So sitting in fifth. Bit of work to do at the minute. Don has closed that gap right up. He's dragged Robuster Hood with him as well. What's the gap looking like between those two? Maybe a second and a half. So Don's starting to get back up to the front then. Like I say, dragging Robust with him. Then Cosgrove having a bit of a lonely race at the minute. He's got about 5 or 6 seconds in front to anybody else. Robert's just disappearing around that right-hander, and he's got about a very similar gap back to these two. 33 getting himself back past JPH. JPH trying to lose his penalty through there. So 9.5 minutes in, Dylan has got himself about a 4-second lead, 5-second lead I would say. Struggling to even see the other drivers. Yeah, it's about 4.5 seconds. Still being hotly contested by Fat Pickles. Still kicking off in the background between Mocking and Fubuki as well. Does Mocking go for the in? No. Decided not to go for the outbraking manoeuvre into the chicane. Almost running himself wide on the exit as well. Yeah, it might be something to do with how the lobby host had the settings, maybe, I don't know. Something like that down for the count. I could be talking out my arse, for all I know. So what's the gap between Mocking Weeks and Don looking like? Let me just change that camera up a little bit. He's still got about 2.5 seconds. Possibly lost a bit of time to Mocking Weeks in front. Mocking Weeks now falling off the back of Fat Pickles Bro as well. Got about 2-second gap himself. There's that nice wide line from Don again. So like I say, I've got to try and practice for next week. Not saying P1, not saying Shark, and not saying Potter. So let's see how we get on with that. Dylan leading, still holding fastest lap of the race, 2:02.7. And he is way out in front, still holding a little bit of penalty, but that does not going to affect him or anyone else. Currently, White Shark Gym then has been closed down by Fat Pickles. Taking all of the curb through the S's. Mocking Weeks, as mentioned, just dropped off the back of that fight a little bit. Actually, who else have we lost? Fubuki. What happened to Fubuki? He's down in 7th. He's been in the pits. Fresh set of super softs on board for Fubuki. I wonder why Mocking Weeks was all of a sudden 4th. So Fubuki in the pits then, out on a fresh set of super softs. Let's see how they benefit him. Be interested to see how long they last actually. Most of the drivers on the soft tyre. Have a little glug of coffee, why not? Although my stream says it's running in 7 120, 60 frames. Doesn't bloody look like it. So the pack just starting to stretch out a little bit now. Still quite close between White Shark, Fat Pickles, Mocking Weeks. P1 Don slowly closing up that gap. Still got a penalty to lose though. Robbers to Hood getting turn one wrong. Catching a couple of the cones through there as well. Sitting in 6th at the minute. Fubuki out of the pits on those super softs. So should be able to close that gap and take the position pretty quickly from Robbers. Ben Cosgrove in the background still holding a penalty. Not stopped either. Came out on the super soft actually. Soft on board for Rick. Softs for JPH. So is Fubuki going for a 2-stopper versus most other drivers' ones? We'll see. All the way out front then for Dylan. Driving for Team Budweiser. Yeah, White Shark unfortunately. Let's just see if we can even see P1. There he is. That's probably about a 5-second gap. Let me just use our man CJ's technique. Let's have a look. 4.2 seconds. Let's see Dylan then just heading through the chicane. A little bit of a lock up there as well for White Shark Jim on the way in. Into the pits now then. What are we, 14 minutes in. Dylan stopped out, so looking to do maybe a lap or two on those tyres. Not a lot of wear on them, to be honest. He's not been under any massive threat. Mocking Weeks then, he also stops out, chucks himself into 2nd. Fubuki stays out as well, 3rd. Don, Robbers, Ben Cosgrove, Fat Pickles, White Shark all in the pits. Rick 33 just coming through in the background. Looks like JPH has come in the pits as well. So Mocking Weeks does come out the pits. Is he going to hold that 2nd? Oh, sorry, that's Fubuki we're on board with. He does hold the 3rd. But White Shark on a fresh set of softs. Fat Pickles on a fresh set of softs. Don on a fresh set of softs. Rick 33 not yet stopped. Robbers on a fresh set of softs. Ben Cosgrove on a fresh set of softs. JPH has gone for the super softs. So it's Dylan, Mocking, and who else has not stopped? Fubuki has Don. So we should see Dylan in end of this lap, I would expect. Although he has no real need to pit, he was still pulling time over the drivers behind, although that will change now they're on fresh tyres. And what's the gap between 1st and 2nd now? I can imagine it's massive. 6.7, is that it, between Mocking Weeks and Dylan? Can't be right. Can't be right. Oh. 26 seconds maybe. Maybe just had to wait for them to get over a timing line. Let's have another look. Why does it still say 6 seconds? Why does it still say 6 seconds? Right, Dylan in the pits now. Mocking Weeks also in the pits. Fubuki, who was one of the first stoppers, stopped on about lap 10. Comes through then, being chased by White Shark. Also being chased by Fat Pickles. Don is also pit, where we're going to see these two drivers come back out. So Dylan back out, he's gone for a set of softs. Going for the one stopper then Don. Dylan, apologies. Fubuki into that 2nd place will have to be a little bit wary of his tyres though. Stopping on lap 10, already a fair chunk of wear on those softs. He's under pressure from White Shark. We've got Fat Pickles just in the background as well. Probably a 2nd gap back to Fat Pickles. Mocking Weeks another 2.5. Still being chased by Don, who's closed that gap right back up. Roberts, a few seconds gap back to Roberts. Ben Cosgrove, about 2 seconds back. JPH holding that 9th, but Rick 33 on a fresh set of boots is right behind him. So these two have had a good old fight most of the race. Let's see how they get on. Dylan though, comfortably. There's Fabuki just coming through the S's. So Fabuki will possibly allow Dylan to pull more time. If he's having to go defensive from White Shark Jim, it's going to cost the pair of them time. Oh, Fabuki almost off track there. That has slowed him down. You can see White Shark Jim's closing up on him. Down the inside into the chicane. Through there, a little bit of a nudge, kind of caught Fabuki, pushed him wide a tiny bit. He's now going to put him under a bit more pressure from Fat Pickles Bro as well. So just was running a tiny bit slower into that final turn. Back up to full race pace now though. So closing back up in this second part of the race. Pickles piling the pressure on Fabuki at the minute. Oh, Fabuki's gone a little bit wide. That's allowed Fat Pickles down the inside, has it? No. Backs out of it. Fat Pickles swings it in across the nose of... Sorry, Fabuki swings it in across the nose of Fat Pickles. It's just allowed Mocking Weeks to close that gap back up. Don in the background, still holding penalty. Looks like he's picking up a little bit more. What's the gap looking like there? Let's have a look. A couple of seconds, possibly 2.5. Under no threat from behind though, Don. So Roberts just coming down in 7th, then down into this hairpin. Got Ben Cosgrove in the background, about 3 seconds back. And then JPH still under pressure from Rick 33. Yeah, these two have been having a good old fight most of the race. Back on board with race leader then. He's absolutely stonking away with this one. 5.3 it says between himself and White Shark. Oh, White Shark, oh, getting the chicane a little bit wrong. Still kept him in front of Fat Pickles and Fabuki though. Fabuki in the pits then, so yes, going for the 2-stopper then Fabuki. Oh, a little bit of collision into the wall on the way in. Don gets promoted up to 4th through that though, so he's on the soft tyre. Evening, Michael. It's afternoon actually, isn't it? Afternoon, Michael. How you doing? Dylan then. 21 minutes in, 9 minutes remaining. 2.1 seconds. Dylan, taking the mick now. It's a disgusting amount of penalty. Got to lose it all in this lap. That's not doing it, is it? White Shark Jim. So, although he's about 6 seconds back, he's got Fat Pickles Bro harassing him for that position. Don has got himself past what has happened to Mocking. You've been in for a set of tyres, Mocking. No, possibly not. Just getting it wrong somewhere, but losing a position down to 5th. Don up into 4th. Don, where are you going? Almost off track into the hairpin. Yeah, big gap developed between... flipped round. P1 Don has got himself all the way through then. Big gap back to Mocking Weeks now. It's good to hear, Mike. Fabuki after a second stop then on those super softs. So he was rolling about up front. He's got 2 red laps on the board there, so up penalties from going a little bit wide somewhere. So Roberts in 7th, and Cosgrove 8th. JPH 9th, still being pressured by Rick 33. These two are going to have smiles on their faces for this one, I can imagine. Still not lost that penalty, Dylan. Slam the brakes on now, slam the brakes on now, slam the brakes on now. Lose that penalty. Nope. Fat Pickle still piling the pressure on White Shark as well. It's not the view I wanted. So can White Shark defend from Fat Pickles? 6.5 minutes remaining. Certainly within touch. Tiny bit of glitching from White Shark by the look of it. Closing up again for Fat Pickles. Trying to get to the end of the race. Needs to think about making this move if he's going to do it. There's Dylan already round the hairpin and back up the hill comfortably. Oh, outbraked himself a little bit there, Fat Pickles. Almost took out White Shark. Gap extends a tiny bit then. Under no threat from Don. He's a good 5 or 6 seconds back. Mocking Weeks has been unable to close that gap back up on Don as well. So Fabuki slowly chopping his way back through this pack. The 6th place at the minute. As he put it in 2:01s. He's got a penalty though. Let's just get ourselves on board. How far? A little bit of work to do. He's got Mocking Weeks and Don just in front there. Got to try and close up on those. Those super soft tyres will help into these turns, but they will wear out a lot quicker as well. So 5 minutes remaining. 2, possibly 3 laps, depending where you are on track. Dylan then still comfortably out front. You can see the gap all the way back to White Shark and Fat Pickles. Oh, again, thought about a move down the inside there, Fat Pickles. White Shark just swung his car across and take the apex. Nowhere for him to go. Driver. So on board with White Shark then, looking back at Fat Pickles, closing up down towards this left-hander, through the little elbow down towards the hairpin. Good line through there for Fat Pickles. Can he carry the speed? Sling one up the inside at the hairpin, a little bit too far back. I think it might be brave, thinking about it. There, he's backed out. White Shark just going a little bit wide there. Cost Fat Pickles a tiny bit of time. They're still cooking off in the background. Is that Don and Mocking Weeks side by side? Let's go and have a look at that. They are. Don and Mocking Weeks bumper to bumper through here. Is Mocking Weeks going to chuck one up the inside? He's got himself up. Keeps his nose just down the inside, has to just back out of that one, slots himself back into 5th then. The chase is on. P1 Don back on Mocking Weeks. But we just jump on board with Fat Pickles as he slides one up the inside of the chicane. Takes 2nd position off of White Shark. White Shark's not having that. He's coming back into the final turn, backs out. Are we going to see him make a lunge into the 1st turn? Let's have a look. Going defensive then for Fat Pickles, trying to hug that pit wall. Just means he's going to have to take a slower line in. Shark Jim might get the better run on the way out. Let's see what happens. Can he sling one back up the inside? He does, but Fat Pickles will still have the advantage as they come into this turn. So holds on to 2nd then, White Shark 3rd. What have we got? 2.5 minutes remaining. We'll see another lap after this one then. Dylan, in the meantime, just comfortably, as he put in 203s, 203s, 203s. Very consistent. Can Fat Pickles defend from White Shark for the next 2 laps? Weeks then back in front of P1 Don. Can P1 Don get the position back? So out on the super soft tyre for Mockin as well. Very similar wear between Mockin and P1 Don's tyres. Don on the soft tyre. So Fubuki up to 6th. He is closing the gap on those two in front, but starting to see wear on those tyres. Gone for the 2 stoppers for Fubuki. Cosgrove 7th, Roberts in 8th. Ben Cosgrove got himself past, I think he has. Roberts in 8th, then JPH 9th. He's finally managed to pull a gap. Oh, what's happened to Rick 33? Rick 33 and JPH were on a right good ding dong. Unfortunately, not anymore. 1 minute remaining as Dylan comes to cross the line then. So this will end up being last lap. Fat Pickles Bro holding on to 2nd. White Shark Jim 3rd. Looks like there's a tiny bit of a gap developing there. There is possibly half a second. Could just be falling away for White Shark. We've got Mockin still holding that 4th over P1 Don. Fubuki certainly is closing that gap up on these two. Is it going to be a final lap 2-place smasher for Fubuki? A little bit far back at the minute, but should be able to close up on these two. Ben Cosgrove then just coming through that first turn for the final time. Can he defend from Roberts? Final lap. Roberts, a lot of wear on his soft tyres. Going to be hard work for him to do that. JPH having a little bit of a race of his own now. And Rick 33 has broken himself. What's going on, Rick? So we're over the 30-second mark. It does say final lap on the screen. Look at the gap that Dylan's got. You'll see it on the straight. Seat of the cars at the minute. Still no other cars on in sight. He's absolutely stormed away with this one at the end. Fat Pickles Bro and White Shark Jim having that punch up has just allowed him to stay out safe. Still holding that 2-second penalty, but he can lose that no problem anytime he likes. And there he goes. So comes home first then for Dylan. Fat Pickles has managed to fend off the attacks from White Shark Jim and pulled a bit of a gap as well. Backwards for Fat Pickles, good to see. White Shark takes 3rd. Mockin Weeks takes 4th. Don takes 5th, Fubuki takes 6th, unable to close that gap up unfortunately. 6th place for Fubuki. And Cosgrove going to take 7th. He managed to defend from Roberts his last couple of laps. Rick 33 has already crossed the line. We just wait for JPH. Come around that final turn then. Cosgrove going to take 7th. There you go. Why is P1 in P1? Because P1. Surely that question answers itself, doesn't it, Andy Dawson? Right, so that was race 1. Yeah, kicks me out straight away, doesn't it? Like that. Because let's just have a tiny little bit of a breather, and then we'll jump into race 2. Big Willow. Hopefully, they put their dirt tyres on for this one. Bought their picnics. Because you're going to see some people disappearing off into the wilderness now. Big Willow. Camping and survival gear may be necessary depending how far they go. Just try and get my coffee down my neck because that's probably going very, very cold right about now. How are we all doing anyway, people? All right? Camping and survival gear may be necessary depending how far they go. On this random Sunday afternoon race catch-up. Just while we're talking about that, got 2 races tonight for you lot. Got the Tanso Boys N300 League with the BMWs. And then straight after that, we've got the P1 Boys with their M3 BMW League. But this time, it's the GR3s. So N300 M3s at 8. GR3 M3s at 9. That's what we've got coming up tonight. Right. Straight after that, we've got the P1 Boys with their M3 BMW League, but this time it's the GR3s. So N300. Meh. It's warm. It's never going to last another race though. Right, stop using your mouse because it doesn't work on PlayStation, you clown. Let's get ourselves over to the Dust Bowl that is Big Willow. Right, stop using your mouse because it doesn't work on PlayStation, you clown. Let's get ourselves over to the Dust Bowl that is Big Willow. Come on. Come on, flipping it. Why does it take so long to download a race? Rick, afternoon smoker. My battle with JPH went slightly wrong. Oh. Yeah, you were having a good old tussle with JPH pretty much the whole race, mate. And then, yeah, we flip back to you. JPH is on his own and you're coasting. It's a shame. I can imagine up till then you were both having a great time. 75%. Jeebus. Yeah, we flip back to you. JPH is on his own and you're coasting. It's a shame. I can imagine up till then you were both having a great time. 75%. Come on, nearly there. 90 odd percent. So yes, race 1 is the one make. Race 2 is free choice. So we're going to do the same again. We're going to run quickly through the grid order. Obviously, it's reverse grid from race 1. So you haven't got to worry about that too much. And we'll have a quick look at some liveries as well while we're flicking up and down the grid. So we're going to do the same again. Don't tell me it's loaded and then it's still loaded. Jesus. So, Rick 33 then leads us away, JPH second, Roberts third, Ben Cosgrove fourth, Buki fifth, Don in sixth, Mockin seventh, White Shark eighth. Yeah. Pause you, damn it. Fat Pickles in ninth and Dylan in 10th. Let's see if Dylan can get us away back through the pack. Make his way to the front. Let's have a look. Come on, what are you doing? Let's change this up. Go and have a few of these liveries then. So very similar looking for JPH in the Jag. Almost identical shape to the Aston. Driving a team PlayStation. Where's player 2 gone? Here we go. So JPH. Look at that lot. CJW and Dart Smoker. What a boy. JPH in second for race 2 then. Another Audi. Race 3 for Robus. Popular car. Another Audi for Ben. So for Buki, he's gone for the McLaren. What is going on with your wiper? Huh? I know you like a wiper blade, but that's like the most ineffective wiper blade ever. Or does it stick to the screen when you're going like 150 miles an hour? Is that what happens? We did have a good ding dong. Yes, you did. Nearly half a lap side by side at one point. Great. Then I went for a move. I'm not sure if he saw me. Oops. Yeah, sort your wiper out for Buki. What's going on there? Crackhead. So, Mocking. Oh, sorry, that's P1 done. One for the Jag again. Bud Lights. There's Mocking. BMW. Team Samsung. Now then, best sounding car on the grid. White Shark going for the Ferrari 458. So a little look around this. Does sound beautiful on the track, this car. Ooh, camera skills aren't great, are they? Huh? Don't do this often, people. Rocking the DCC livery as well. Can't shake the cliches logo on the front. That skull. Over to Fat Pickles Bro in another Audi. And yet another Audi for Dylan. Like I say, popular car. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Audis, I think, in this lobby. Missing a couple of drivers as well. So JRH not racing, Pot not racing. Both of those drivers roll in the Porsche. Unfortunately, not here this week. Right, is that the only view you're going to give me, PlayStation? Useless. Anyone see some lights on there? Nope. What now? Nope. Okay. Let's get back out into this view. Right, let's kick this one off then. Half an hour, Willow Springs, Dust Bowl Central. Let's see if they can keep it on track. Revs it up, just wait for the non-existent lights to drop. Away, not a great start by JPH. The Audis do seem to bog down off the line. You can see all the mid and rear wheel cars getting really good starts. Look at Rick 33 already disappeared off down the street. Those Audis causing some kind of bottleneck behind. The mid and rear wheel drivers coming through from the back of the pack then. Buki up into second already. JPH is just holding on to third. On the floor, no idea. JPH holding fourth in the Audi. Closely chased by Mocking and Don. Through that awkward hairpin at the top. It's all off camber and horrible, that one. Be careful on the way out. So Dylan making up a couple of positions as well, already up into 8th position. Roberts 9th and Fat Pickles in 10th. Back up front, Rick 33. Oh, had his gap dropped a little bit. Fubuki's closing that gap up on him, pulling some time over JPH as well. Let's just go and see how effective that wiper is. No, it's actually, no, it's still not touching the screen. Useless, take it off, Fubuki. Crazy. So JPH holding that third in the Audi. Pretty closely chased by Mocking Weeks. So on board with Mocking in the BMW as he chases down JPH in that Audi. Oh, Rick 33 has just gone off track in front, coming through turn 1. That's going to allow Fubuki to carry the speed. Closes right up on him. All that advantage is gone then. That's allowed JPH and Mocking Weeks to close up as well. Rick 33. Oh, he's off track again there. Rick! Where, Rick? Rick! Where'd he gone? Rick! Right, hold on. We need a little bit of on board for that. Rick, man. Can't stick the brakes on here, he's going to go sideways, so he's kept the throttle on. Wow! Off he's gone. Reset to track. Oh, Rick. He was going for jump of the century, but he's ended up resetting back into the last place. Unfortunate for Rick. Now, it's a bit of a fight on his hands to try and get back up to the pack after that little incident as well. So So Fubuki now out front with that mistake from Rick. He's holding about a second and a half on JPH in second in that Audi. Mocking Week still holding third. He's got Ben Cosgrove pushing around the track in the second of the Audis. Good deliveries from Ben. A lot of people commenting on those. So White Shot Jim in the Ferrari. Well, that's a good shot. So on board with White Shot. Dylan has got himself up into 6th position in that Audi. So chopping his way through the pack. We are only on to lap 3 as well. Looking to run around the outside of White Shot with this long sweeping right, carrying the speed as well. Side by side through there. Can he keep his nose up the inside into this next turn? He does. Is he going to make a move down the inside? Oh, he backs out. That was close, but that has allowed Don and Fat Pickles to close up on these two as well. Now goes for another move down the opposite side. Ah! Can he carry the speed? Can he carry the speed? Can. Slots himself through into 5th then, Dylan. He's going for a chopathon on this field early on. What tyres is he on? That'll be an interesting... So he's on the softs again. He's not gone for the super soft, so... He's now looking at the rear end of Ben Cosgrove's Audi. Oh, Mocking Weeks. Mocking Weeks has just decided to throw himself off track. Yeah, that's what will happen at Big Willow. So closing up on JPH. Well, just not quite turning in early enough. Ah, and there it is. Slider-tronomathon. Now he's got to get himself backwards again. Rick 33 even getting himself past there. So Mocking Weeks now at the back of the pack. Ah, Mocking. Big gaps to play with. There's Rick 33, who's just been off track himself and been reset, and you can see the gap back to Mocking Weeks now. All the work to do. Still big train of drivers running through here. JPH going for a move up the inside of Fubuki. Fubuki's going to have the line into this next bit of this hairpin though. But Dylan, where have you come from, Dylan? Just seen him take 5th position. He's now just slotted himself into 2nd. In fact, I have the power now to go back and have a look. I have the power. I don't have this power usually. It doesn't give me replays. That's where he just took the position off of White Shark. So he's right on the rear end of Ben Cosgrove. He's going to get a good toe down the start-finish straight by the looks of it. Mocking Weeks deciding to throw himself off into the dust, so that's one position up already. Now, all over the rear end of Ben Cosgrove. Look at the speed he's carrying versus the other Audi as well. Should be able to get in front before they get to turn 1. Nothing Ben Cosgrove can do about that. He could have tried out breaking P1 Dylan, but I think P1 Dylan, it would have cost them both their races, possibly. But now closing up on the top 2 drivers is Dylan. In time. So these two having a bit of a fight. This just allows... Here we go. He sticks right onto the rear end of Fubuki through there. Nowhere for JPH to go, so he just slots himself through into that 2nd position. Great bit of driving for Dylan. And he's put himself up front already into lap 4 from the back of the pack into a position where he can battle for 1st place now. Yes, it did look like that, Rick. It did look like that, Rick. Could see you weren't going to brake, you were just going to end up backwards. But here is Dylan going around the outside of Fubuki in the final turn. It's an awkward double apexed as well. Closing up on Fubuki as they come out. Oh, a little wheel on the sand there. We know the Audi's quick. We've just seen it do the move on Ben Cosgrove down here. It's going to be 3 wide into turn 1. We've got Dylan, JPH and Fubuki battling this one out. Fubuki holds on to 1st. Dylan holds 2nd. JPH piling the pressure on for 3rd. wants to hold on to that third position. Ben Cosgrove almost pushing him down the track, and then we've got White Shark Jim in the back. Still really tight on this Big Willow track. Right, JPH now the advantage down the inside. It's a 3 wide Audi sandwich. Fortunately, nowhere for Ben Cosgrove to go, so he gets shoved and bullied a little bit, all the way back down to 7th. Oh, tiny bit of contact between himself and Fat Pickles. Keeps it on track though, Fat Pickles. So you can see absolutely no run up on this track. If you get it wrong, you're off into that desert. Let's go and have a look what's happening up front. Fubuki still leads. JPH has got himself into that 2nd position. White Shark Jim has managed to slot himself through into 3rd as well. Dylan pushed down to 4th now, but closing up. Down the inside. Already past the DCC Ferrari. Looking to get back onto the podium positions, which he is now. And then hunt down those first 2. Still great drive from Dylan to get to the front. Good track when you get it right, this one. So Fubuki and JPH still having a bit of a fight. Dylan unable to make any headway so far into these 2. Yeah, that's the point. Just on the exit of that turn, just catch a wheel on the sand there, and around you go. Great big train of drivers. Right, we've got Ben Cosgrove and Don side by side. Who's going to win out here? Audi, very stable car. The Jag does look like it's carrying more speed. Tyres up here though, gives Ben Cosgrove the advantage into this final turn. But can the Jag power, using that slipstream, get himself back past? Chucks one up the inside then into turn 1. Gets himself up into 6th then, Don, for now. Dylan is not having that though. He's coming back around the outside for that 6th position. Is he going to take it back? We'll have the advantage into this next section. Come then, Ben Cosgrove in, does hold on to the advantage. Don holds on to 2nd, but Fat Pickles is that Roberts? That's Roberts. It's Fat Pickles. Wrong colour car. Right, Dylan back up into 2nd. A light. Dylan back up into 1st. Oh, so wide through there. Dylan did look like he was going to run himself off track. It did look like Fubuki was going to do the same thing. Back onto this start finish straight. Fubuki slots himself back into 1st. Still tightly, closely contested here. Top, what, 6? 5 or 6 drivers? Sure if there's 3 or 4. Oh, there's 3 in the background behind Dylan. Dylan then in the Audi, closing right back up on Fubuki through this long sweeping right. He's trying to go get as much of that track as possible. Cost him a little bit. Fubuki also chucking a wheel on the grass there. So it's McLaren, Audi, Ferrari. That's an Audi in 5th as well, Fat Pickles. Robbers the Hood, another Audi, and Ben Cosgrove in another Audi, 6th and 7th. Being chased by P1 Don in the Jag in 8th. Just stick with this as they come round onto this final turn. Fubuki holding on to 1st. Dylan all over his rear end as they come out of that turn. Where are you going, Dylan? You're trying to fake people into the pits then. Didn't work. Flashing the lights, trying to put Fubuki off a little bit. JPH still right in the background there as well, looking for that position. He's having to go slightly defensive. But, wow, Fat Pickles trying to throw one up the inside of White Shark Jim there. 2 Audis versus the Ferrari here. Ferrari carrying good speed. He's going to have the advantage into this turn. Gets himself, no, backs out, does he? Will now hold it into here. Where is White Shark Jim going to end up? Side by side still, so White Shark should just get the advantage into this next turn. They are still pretty much side by side through there. Oh, JPH getting a wheel on the sand. You can see that just sent him a little bit squiffy. Fat Pickles unable to slot himself through with that little bit of sideways action. There was actually nowhere for him to go. But front though, we've still got Dylan and Fabuki battling it out the top spot. Really good fight kicking off here. Back onto that long start finish straight. Goes for another move into turn 1. Audi versus McLaren. You wouldn't think it, would you? No, back into top spot for Dylan. Picks up some sand there. Can he hold the advantage through his turn? Nowhere for Fabuki to go. Did look for a bit of a move down the inside, but no gap available. So Dylan holding top spot. What are we, 12 minutes in. Fabuki second. White Shark Jim in third. Pulled a bit of a gap from JPH now in fourth. Under pressure from Fat Pickles in fifth. Ben Cosgrove a couple of seconds back in sixth in another Audi. Robert Hood seventh. Under pressure from P1 Don though for that position. Don in eighth currently. 33 after launching himself to space is sitting in 9th. Mocking Weeks, who decided to do a pirouette into a dust bowl, in 10th. Closing up on Rick though. There was a massive great gap there. That Rick trying to throw himself off track again. Kicking up sand all over the place. It'd be interesting to see if Mocking Weeks can get that position off of Rick. Right, Dylan has now pulled a gap. That's the wrong thing. Let's have a look at the timing. What does it say? 0.8 of a second between himself and Fabuki. They have just pulled a little gap over White Shark Jim as well in third. Started to stretch out a little bit then. They were bumper to bumper for about the first 10 minutes. Just starting to stretch out now. Yeah, the Audi's very popular in this league. They're very stable. Eat through tyres quite quickly, but very stable. Oh, who's that? Who's that off track? That P1 Don going for a bit of off-roading. I believe it was. Yeah, that's just allowed Robert Hood to carry that speed, take it off him. So was up a position, then P1 Don decided to go for a bit of off-roading, back down into 8th. 33, 9th still. Mocking Weeks 10th. Right, top few drivers in the pits. Got White Shark, Fat Pickles, JPH, Dylan, Ben Cosgrove, Fabuki, Roberts, all in the pits. Halfway point of this race. Come on, get back up to the front, damn you. So Dylan back out the pits. Fresh set of racing softs on board. Fabuki right out behind him on a set of softs. Going for the one stopper this time for Fabuki. Car to drive. Well, there you go. I must admit, when I tested it, I wasn't overly impressed with it. Oh, who's that kicking off? We've got Roberts and JPH. No, it's not JPH. It's Fat Pickles side by side, the 2 Audis. Fat Pickles just winning out there, though. Mr. Hood unable to get past, holding on to 5th. JPH 6th. Ben Cosgrove 7th. Big gaggle of Audis in the middle of this pack now. And the other one is P1 Dylan. White White Shark is actually closing the gap up on Fubuki as well, so Fubuki could come under pressure for that second position. It's not going to help when you're chucking two wheels on the grass either, or the sand. There's the Ferrari slowly closing up on him, chucks one up the inside into turn one. Backs out of it again. Just piling the pressure on Fubuki. This is going to cause them to lose time to Dylan in front. Hugging that inside apex, not allowing any kind of door to be opened. DCC Ferrari all over the rear end of Fubuki. So DCC Digital Car Culture, make sure you go and check them out on Facebook. As you can imagine, it's all about digital cars and the culture surrounding them, funnily enough. Been put together by our mate Can't Shake the Cliche, who has actually only just got involved with the groups. I've been telling him for months to get involved with the groups. And here he is, he's in. So, Fubuki still holding on to that second. White Shark looking in a good position, coming onto this. Oh no, Fubuki! He's chucked himself into the sand. He's done a mocking weeks, losing positions. He's back out on track in 8th, but carrying no speed at all. Robert Hood's going to come past. Mocking weeks, unfortunately, not carrying enough speed to close that gap up, but not to make the move anyway. But we'll put him back in a bit of a fight position with Fubuki. It's a shame for Fubuki. We've just seen Mocking Weeks do the same thing as well. So Dylan now holding fastest lap of the race as well. 1:15.8 forward for Dylan. It's a stormer of a lap. If you look at everything else, 1:18, 1:21, 1:17, 1:18, 1:17, 1:18, 1:16. It's 1:69, so that may as well be a 1:17. Yeah, it must have been a good lap for Dylan. White Shark has got himself up into second after Buki's chucked himself off track. Ferrari DCC driver then holding second over Fat Picklesbro in third. There's Audi, Ferrari, Audi now. Audi in fourth, Audi in fifth, Jag in sixth, Jag in seventh, Audi in eighth, McLaren in ninth, BMW 10th. Mocking Weeks has closed the gap up on Fubuki, so it could become a bit of a punch-up between those two. So Dylan's still running away with this one. Let's just get ourselves... there they are. It's got to have a good 5 or 6 second lead. 3.4, 3.9, I don't believe you. Not having it. That's more than 3.4 seconds, 3.9 seconds, you liar. Not having it, PlayStation. Oh, Dylan, keep it on the grey stuff. It's that easy. You've seen Mocking Weeks do it. You've seen Fubuki do it. So, White Shark Jim coming under increased pressure from the Audi of Fat Pickles. They're coming onto this long straight as well. This Fat Pickle's going to be able to get himself into the slipstream. Oh, a couple of wheels on the sand, that's going to slow him down. Closes up though, too far back to make a move into turn one. Would have liked a better exit out of the final turns. Try and close that gap up a bit more on White Shark. No direct threat from behind at the minute. JPH now a good few seconds back himself. Can't see him he's just behind that score on the left hand side there. The driver's name. There he is. There's the Ferrari. Beautiful sounding 458. There it is. Ripping through the scenery. pressure again then. Fat Pickles closing up on White Shark once more into this final turn. So both drivers getting a wheel on the grass. Oh, Fat Pickles doing well to keep that in a straight line. Still too far back to make a move though. Has to hold on to the third. JPH still fourth. Ben Cosgrove had a second back. Maybe just less than that, 3/4 of a second. P1 Don in sixth. Fabuki seventh. Mocking Weeks up into eighth. Rick 33 ninth. Robus now in 10th. So what has happened to Robus? Got it wrong somewhere. So 21.5 minutes gone. Dylan starting from the back of the pack, winning race one. He's managed to chop his way through to the front of this pack. He's pulled all sorts of time over the second place driver of White Shark. Still under pressure from Fat Pickles as well. JPH and Ben Cosgrove are a lot closer together on this lap. Again, both drivers just sticking a wheel on the sand. Fat Pickles, he's in a good place, goes for the move down the inside, backs out again. Oh, that could be it, that could be it. White Shark dipping a wheel on the sand. He's managed to keep it on track. Well done, White Shark. Oh, that almost took both of you out. So Fat Pickles has got to try again. Very similar tyre wear between the two. Dylan ghosting out, possibly picked up a penalty, has he? Why are you ghosting out, Dylan? He'll be losing time to these drivers behind now. Still ghosting Dylan, that's interesting. You can see the two drivers closing up on him. Could lose this position here unless he gets back behind the wheel. Don't know where he's gone. But because he's ghosting, unfortunately his car doesn't know how to drive anymore. Goes into Sunday afternoon mode. So White Shark gets himself through into top spot. Fat Pickles second. Dylan still ghosting. 24 minutes of this race, 6 minutes left. If he stays like this, he's going to end up at the back of the pack. Then Cosgrove got himself past JPH. That's a shame for Dylan. He had all sorts of lead out front. He's looking for maximum points this weekend, and unfortunately, it's all falling away from him in race 2. Sure what's happened to Dylan, but now down in 5th. Don closing up, he's going to take that position as well. Still ghosting then for Dylan. So Fabuki holding 7th after his off-track action. Rick 33 8th after off-track action. Mocking Weeks 9th after off-track action. Roberts to Hood in the pits. Looks like Roberts is sitting the end of this race out. He was too far back to try and make any positions up after his off-track action as well. So he's going to be unable to gain any more points. So he just sticks himself in the pits. Waits for the end of this race. Okay, so White Shark still holding top spot. He'll be happy with this. Fat Pickles make a move. He's been looking dangerous for the last few laps, but been unable to make the move so far. Ben Cosgrove up into third, then starting to pull a tiny bit of a gap from JPH in fourth. Don in fifth. Having a race of his own at the minute. Fubuki then sixth. Rick 33 seventh. Mocking Weeks eighth. Dylan still ghosting out. Roberts, you see, should have stayed out on track. He would have made a position up. But you're not to know, are you? Again, too far back for Fat Pickles this time. 5 minutes remaining. This is where we saw White Shark Jim stick a wheel on the sand, almost take himself out. Frodo Baggins. Well, there you go. So Fat Pickles all over the rear end of that first place driver. No threat from behind. Ben Cosgrove in third, at 5 seconds back. So is Fat Pickles playing it safe? Is he just sticking himself behind White Shark and waiting for the move? Or can he physically just not get it past White Shark Jim in that Ferrari? To this final turn again, where we've seen a few drivers go off track. Again, a wheel on the sand for White Shark. Slows him down enough for Fat Pickles to close up again. It's going to sling one up the inside here. It's carrying a fair bit of speed. Oh, again, White Shark just able to carry that tiny little bit of extra speed around that first turn. Keeps himself in front of Fat Pickles. So Ben Cosgrove now pulled a big old gap between himself and JPH. Also driving for Digital Car Culture as well for Ben Cosgrove. And HKS, I believe. JPH in 9th then. Don, JPH in 9th, JPH in 4th. Why did I say 9th? Because he's got 99 next to his name. Keep it on track, JPH. You might lose that position to Don, who's only a couple of seconds behind you, actually. Oh, he's a bit more than a couple of seconds now. Oh, Don then almost getting it wrong. It's going to put him under increased pressure from Fubuki at the end of this race. 1.5 minutes remaining. That's one lap. So Rick 33 not that far back either. A little mistake from one of these two. And he could see himself moving up a position or two. Mocking Weeks just in the background. Ah, who's that? Ah, Don. He's got it off track. Fubuki then coming through, carrying all that speed. Can Don defend it? No, he can't. Fubuki just carrying all the speed through there, but Don did try and take that position back. Fortunately, he's got to slot himself back into 6th position. And that has put him under increased pressure from Rick 33 and Mocking Weeks. 7th and 8th behind. Let's go see what's happening up front. White Shark Jim still being pressured by Fat Pickles Bro. .30 seconds remaining. Are they going to see another lap? I don't think they are. They might. Oh no, I think they are going to see another lap. Tyre wear starting to show up now. Then the car's a little bit unstable as they come around that long final turn. Yes, these two will get across the line. I think these two will be the only two that will be racing in a second. Yep, we're over the 30-minute mark, so anyone else that crosses the line will be finishing. Ben Cosgrove comes home to take 3rd. JPH is going to take 4th. Fubuki takes 5th. Good drive for Fubuki. Don 6th. Rick 33 in 7th. Mocking Weeks 8th. Just wait for Dylan, who's unghosted now, holding 9th. Roberts Hood is going to come home. Roberts. Roberts Todd is launching himself to space. White Shark Jim still holding on to top spot. So it's all about this final turn then. It's pretty much a straight down here. But White Shark Jim looks like he's pulled himself enough of a gap to hold on to that top spot from Fat Pickles. So unless he slings it off into the dirt now, we're going to see a White Shark win. Well, they could both possibly sling it into the dirt. So he did close up through there, Fat Pickles, but he's not going to be close enough to take the win off of White Shark. First place for White Shark, second place for Fat Pickles. That's it. Yeah, I forget it doesn't run through the grid order or anything, or the positions afterwards. So that was the catch-up races, the replays from Friday that I missed. All done and dusted now. Final round next week. Remind me where that's from. I have looked. I have seen it. I'm sure I've got a picture somewhere that I can pull up somehow. Let's have a quick look here. Let's start Bit Bot Bosh. No, that's not going to show me. Do you know what? Let's get on the old phone and have a look, shall we? Find that link that our mate CJW sent over to us. Just look at the last couple of rounds. Fusion Elite. Yeah, it'd be interesting to find out what happened to Dylan. Last two rounds. Catalonia. I hate the track. Hate it. And Bathurst. Yeah, I like Bathurst. So that's next week's races. Yeah, it'd be interesting to find out what happened to Dylan. Yeah. Last two rounds. Catalonia. So again, 2 half-hour races for you lot next Friday. I myself am back tonight at 8 o'clock for Tanso Racing's N300 M3 League. Followed straight after that at 9 o'clock by the P1 boys on their M3 GR3 League. Monday night, we're back for the Minis, round 11. 8:30 start for that. That's Tanso Racing and the Chewit Racing Mini Cooper Cup. I know, Catalonia and Bathurst. So that's Monday night. Nothing Tuesday, nothing Wednesday yet. Have I got a start date for that? Yes, I have somewhere. Let me find that as well. MRCTOR. So that's Monday night. Nothing Tuesday, nothing Wednesday yet. Have I got a start date for that? Team Oliver Racing League. Let's have a look. What date does that start? 10th of March that starts. Okay, so that's 8:30, 10th of March. Let's just have a quick read through. How many rounds is it? No, that's not what I want. Okay, not a lot of information on there. I'm not going to go any more digging, but that's coming up 10th of March. Thursday night, 9 o'clock, back with the P1 boys and their McGann League. Final round of the GTTCC we've just spoke about. So Catalonia, Bathurst. Dylan apparently went for a poo. Oh dear. So his poo cost him the race win. There we go. Desperate times call for desperate measures, obviously. Yep, so that's pretty much it. Hope you like what you watched. If you fancy helping my channel out, get yourselves over to buymeacoffee.com/dartsmoker and drop a little donation if you can. Thank you very much. Other than that, I hope you've liked what you've watched. Give it a like, give it a subscribe, tell your mates, tell your mums. My name's Dartsmoker. I'm out of here.